Learning spaces are a collection of areas which have been intentionally designed by a teacher in order to encourage development in an early childhood environment. As the teacher, you can share learning objectives by bringing spoken concepts to life for your little learners. You can build on the natural curiosity that your class already possesses by building these learning experiences within creative learning spaces. In addition, providing developmentally appropriate learning spaces means that as a childcare staff, you must collaborate with parents in order to understand the needs of each child within your program. These spaces allow opportunities for children to explore, roam, feel comfortable, and learn in a safe atmosphere. When it comes to designing the classroom setting, teachers make full use of every inch of available floor space. Let's talk about one of the most timeless and essential learning centers in early childhood classrooms, the blocks area. Now, at first glance, blocks might look like just a fun, hands-on activity. And yes, they are fun. But they are also a powerful tool for building early math, science, social, and even emotional skills. When children engage with blocks, they're not just stacking or knocking things down. They're exploring concepts like balance, measurement, spatial reasoning, and cause and effect, all through play. A child figuring out how to make a bridge stand or building a tower that doesn't fall is doing real-life problem solving. They're testing ideas, making predictions, and learning from the results. That's science. That's engineering. That's cognitive development in action. Now, let's take a look at what makes a strong block center. You want variety, from soft blocks to unit blocks, cardboard blocks, and even open-ended materials like toilet paper tubes and Lincoln logs. The more textures, shapes, and sizes you provide, the more creativity you'll spark. Don't forget accessories like miniature animals, construction vehicles, and people figures. These turn basic stacking into rich, imaginative storytelling. One of the best parts about the block area, it supports collaboration and communication. Children often work together to plan their structures, negotiate roles, and problem solve when something doesn't quite go as expected. This builds not only cognitive skills, but important social-emotional ones like patience, teamwork, and resilience. And here's a pro tip. Rotate in themed props to support your current curriculum. Studying transportation? Add some traffic signs and cars. Doing a unit on community helpers? Include toy firefighters and police stations. This helps children connect what they're building to the world around them. So, while it might seem like just a pile of blocks, this center is actually a foundational space for brain building, creativity, and meaningful connection. And with just a few intentional choices, you can create an environment where children construct more than towers. They build confidence, knowledge, and joy. Let's dive into one of the richest and most beloved areas in any early childhood classroom, the dramatic play center. Now, at first glance, dramatic play may look like simple dress-up or pretend time. But it's so much more than that. When children engage in imaginative play, they're actually practicing some of life's most important skills. They're exploring identity, communication, social roles, and problem solving, all while having fun. Think about it. When a child puts on a chef hat and cooks dinner for friends, or plays doctor with a doll, they're making sense of the world around them. They're acting out experiences they've seen at home, at the doctor's office, or even at the grocery store. This kind of role play allows them to process emotions, develop empathy, and build language skills. And this area naturally supports social-emotional learning. In dramatic play, children negotiate roles. Who will be the mom? Who's the baby? Who gets to use the pretend phone? These negotiations teach cooperation, compromise, and emotional regulation. When conflict happens, and it will, it becomes a learning opportunity guided by the teacher. Now, let's talk about what goes into a great dramatic play space. The slide lists key materials: a prop box, diverse clothing and accessories, pretend food, cookware, and dolls that reflect different skin tones. These materials invite children to explore many roles and scenarios, and more importantly, they validate and represent their own experiences and cultures. That kind of inclusivity matters deeply. Don't forget the magic touch. Items like a selfie stick, fake camera, or old phone bring in the digital world many children are familiar with. These everyday objects help children act out what they see at home or in the community, which is essential for building a strong sense of identity. And here's something special. Dramatic play supports language development like no other center can. When children pretend, they use expressive language, storytelling, and vocabulary they may not yet use in other contexts. A quiet child might suddenly come alive as a firefighter, a grocery store clerk, or a parent comforting a baby. So remember, the dramatic play center isn't just cute, it's a critical foundation for social, emotional, cognitive, and language growth. When you set it up with intention and imagination, you create a space where children not only play, but begin to understand the people, roles, and relationships that shape their world. Welcome to the Science and Sensory Center, where curiosity comes to life. This learning space is one of the most exciting and dynamic areas in any classroom. Why? Because it taps into children's natural desire to explore, observe, and experiment with the world around them. In the Science and Sensory Center, children get to be little scientists, asking questions, testing ideas, and making real discoveries through hands-on play. This area is all about using the senses. Whether it's the texture of sand, the smell of flowers, the sound of water pouring, or the sight of colors mixing, children are using sensory input to make sense of their environment. These experiences support brain development, especially in the areas of language, motor skills, and memory. But it's not just about messy fun, there's deep learning happening here. When a child uses a magnifying glass to look at a leaf, or observes how water changes color with drops of dye, they are practicing scientific thinking. Observing, predicting, comparing, recording, and reflecting. You'll notice that the suggested materials, like goggles, tweezers, clipboards, and rulers, introduce tools of science in a way that feels empowering. Children get to use real instruments to sort, measure, and record. Even something as simple as tracing a leaf or weighing a rock builds early STEM skills. And don't overlook the emotional value of sensory play. This center offers children a calming outlet for self-regulation. Scooping, pouring, sifting, and squishing materials like sand or water can help reduce stress and provide a quiet moment of focus in an otherwise busy day. It's also inclusive. Children with different learning styles or language needs often thrive here, expressing themselves through touch and movement rather than words. Want to take this center even further? Add living elements, like a class plan or a pet fish. Children learn about responsibility, empathy, and life cycles in real time. And when you rotate materials with seasonal themes, fall leaves, winter ice, spring flowers, you're reinforcing concepts from your curriculum in a hands-on way. So remember, the Science and Sensory Center isn't just extra, it's essential. It helps children explore their world, develop critical thinking, and connect to learning in ways that are meaningful, memorable, and joyful. Welcome to the Puzzles, Math, and Manipulative Center, where little hands build big brain power. This area is a powerhouse for developing early math skills, fine motor control, problem solving, and persistence. It's where children explore numbers, patterns, shapes, and logic through hands-on activities that feel like play, but are actually laying the groundwork for academic success. Let's start with puzzles. When a child completes a puzzle, whether it's made of cardboard, wood, or paper, they're learning spatial reasoning, how pieces fit together, and how to follow a visual plan. That's critical thinking in action. And just as important, they're practicing patience, concentration, and that all-important skill, not giving up when something gets hard. Now, manipulatives, things like counting bears, number boards, play money, scales, or tape measures, help children understand math in concrete ways. For example, using an abacus or stacking cubes teaches them not just how to count, but how to compare quantities, recognize patterns, and even begin to understand addition and subtraction through real objects they can touch and move. This center is also rich with language and literacy opportunities. When a child describes how they solved a puzzle or explains why one block is taller than another, they're building math vocabulary, words like more, less, bigger, smaller, equal, and next. These are the foundational words that support future success in math and science. And don't underestimate the social-emotional benefits here. Children working together to sort shapes or complete a number puzzle learn how to share materials, take turns, and celebrate each other's successes. This is also a safe place to make mistakes and try again. That's how confidence grows. Now, when setting up this center, variety matters. Include puzzles of different complexity, manipulatives that match different themes or seasons, and tools like fake money, clocks, and calculators that help children act out real-life scenarios like shopping or telling time. Comfortable seating, organized containers, and clear labels also make this center inviting and easy to navigate. So, whether it's through matching shapes, counting coins, or completing a jigsaw puzzle, this space helps children build the skills they need to succeed, not just in math, but in life. It's where persistence, logic, and creativity come together, and that's a formula we love. Let's explore one of the coziest and most powerful spaces in your classroom, the reading and listening library. This area isn't just about books. It's about creating a love for language, storytelling, and imagination. It's where children begin to see themselves as readers and storytellers, even before they can read a single word. And that's what makes it so important. From the moment children step into a comfy corner with a book and a pillow, they're engaging with print in meaningful ways. Flipping through pages, recognizing letters, pointing to pictures, all of these are early literacy behaviors. They're learning that print carries meaning, that stories have structure, and that books are a source of joy, not just information. When you provide a listening station with headphones and audiobooks, you open the door to rich oral language experiences. Children hear new vocabulary, expressive tone, and the rhythm of fluent reading. This is especially powerful for children who may not be exposed to much reading at home. It supports language development, comprehension, and attention span, all while letting them enjoy a story independently. But this space also serves another purpose. It offers comfort and calm. Beanbags, soft rugs, and pillows make this a space where children can self-regulate, rest, or just take a quiet moment to reset. For many children, the reading area becomes their emotional safe zone during a busy or overwhelming day. Setting it up intentionally makes all the difference. Stock the shelves with a variety of books, picture books, magazines, wordless stories, and books in multiple languages if possible. Add hand puppets to help children retell stories or act them out. Include themed posters or wall art to reinforce your current curriculum or classroom values. Don't forget accessibility. Low, sturdy shelving allows children to independently browse and make their own choices. That autonomy builds confidence and reinforces that this space belongs to them. And when children sit together in this space, sharing a book, pointing to pictures, or laughing at a silly story, they're not just learning to read. They're learning to listen, to connect, and to communicate. So, the reading and listening library isn't just a corner of the classroom. It's a gateway to imagination, language, and lifelong literacy. Welcome to the 2D and 3D Creative Arts Center, a space where imagination takes shape and creativity has no limits. This area is so much more than just drawing and gluing. It's a place where children explore who they are, express emotions, make choices, and build confidence. Art is one of the first languages of childhood, and in this center, children use that language freely. Let's talk about the learning. When a child paints a picture, cuts out shapes, or builds a sculpture out of pipe cleaners and foam, they are developing fine motor skills, spatial awareness, and planning abilities. They're also practicing cause and effect. What happens when I mix these colors? What sticks best, glue or tape? The 2D part, drawing, coloring, painting, helps children make meaning from their world. It gives them tools to communicate feelings, memories, and ideas, especially for those who may not yet have the words. Meanwhile, the 3D component, sculpture, collage, construction, adds a tactile, hands-on element that supports problem-solving, engineering thinking, and sensory exploration. Creativity here is open-ended. There is no right way to use a crayon or glue a cotton ball. That's what builds confidence. Children learn to make choices, evaluate their own work, and take pride in the process, not just the product. From an emotional standpoint, this center can be incredibly therapeutic. A child who is shy, anxious, or adjusting to big changes may find peace and self-expression through painting or sculpting. And for all children, this space provides freedom, a break from structure and the chance to simply create. Now, setting this space up intentionally matters. Include a variety of materials: colored papers, glue sticks, crayons, chalk, markers, ink pads, watercolors, and paintbrushes. Add 3D options like pipe cleaners, styrofoam, sponges, and textured paper. Make sure there's a place to stand and move, as well as space to sit and focus. And always keep it near a sink for easy cleanup, because yes, mess is part of the magic. So remember, your art center isn't just about crafts. It's about giving children the tools to explore, invent, and express their unique selves. In this space, they're not just making art. They're making sense of the world and their place in it. You've successfully completed this section of the training, and we hope you're walking away with fresh ideas and new inspiration. Your commitment to creating amazing learning spaces truly makes a difference in the lives of children every day. Take a moment to celebrate your progress. You've earned it. When you're ready, continue on to the next section. We're excited to keep learning with you. A title scene with a bigger circle. This time you can use to introduce your video.